Hey there guys, Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Welcome back to the first 5 cards in my 10 cards 1 kit for the April 2018 Paper Pumpkin kit. So my first card, I am starting with a Knighted Navy card base, 4 1/4 by 11. And I added an inside card layer of Whisper White. And then I took the Swirly Bird framelits or thinlits and cut out this piece from Calypso Coral. This reminds me of waves. And I wanted to add that to this card. If you missed the unboxing video yesterday, this kit is very, 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 very nautical. So most of my cards today have a nautical theme. I did manage to do one that wasn't nautical. So even the stamp set is very nautical theme. So I used the stitch shaped circle, the largest one, to cut out the little card that has the burst. And I've adhered that to the card using snail. I'm going to stamp the You're a Lifesaver sentiment using Night of Navy ink onto the little banner. And then I am going to adhere the lighthouse using 1 layer of the dimensionals that came in the kit. And then I'm going to add 2 layers of dimensionals to the back of the banner and adhere that across the I almost said lifesaver, lifehouse. And then to add a little bit more interest, I'm bringing in a gold Sharpie marker, and I am coloring our white perfect accents, which are retiring. So I'm going to go over them and add a couple of coats. Any marker will do, but I wanted to bring in a touch more of the gold from that circle. So I did that using these white perfect accents. And that's the first card. Easy peasy. So for card number 2, this one is a little bit more involved, but I'm using the large letter framelits to cut out the letters AHY. And I'm using this anchor paper. It's actually the one of the 3x3 cards. I'm going to bring in a piece of Pull Party, and I'm going to add that to this piece of the Sizzix adhesive sheets, because I'm going to be using that same framelit from earlier to cut out more waves. Now, this layer is 4 by 5 1/4. And I end up cutting this down to 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. You'll see that in a little bit. But I'm just peeling off the backer sheet, and then I am adhering those waves. And then if you watch the Paper Pumpkin, official Paper Pumpkin video, they showed how you can wrap this twine around, or this rope around, to make it look like it's like that on the back. I didn't take time to show that because it took me a little bit longer than I promised it is. But if you go watch the Paper Pumpkin video from Stampin' Up, they show how to do it a whole lot better than I did. So at first I thought I was going to attempt to adhere these straight, but I ended up having them go up from the left to the right, and I really liked the way that looked. And I am using regular glue dots to adhere. Now this kit comes with all the adhesive that you need, but I prefer these glue dots to the ones that come in. So I'm going to try a piece of the rope at the bottom of this card layer. Actually, I'm just going to add it using washi tape, which is my favorite trick. And then I'm going to add this to a piece of Calypso Coral after I've cut it down. That measures 3 1/2 by 4 1/4, or 4 1/2. 5 1/2. Oh, my word brain. And then I'm going to use snail to adhere this to a thick Whisper White card base that's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. And then I decided it needed a little bit more. So I'm going to take the little sail ship along with the Island Indigo ink spot, and out from that lifesaver was this little circle. So I went ahead and stamped the ship on that and then put it right back inside. Of course, I can't do letters without having them shine at some point. So I'm going to add some Wink of Stella, and then I'm going to tie a knot, a double knot, and that's that card. Quick and simple and really cute. This card, I have a Calypso Coral card base, and you can see I have all sorts of circle punches all the way down to the smallest ones. And I'm just going to be cutting out random circles out of these cards. And then I used the largest stitch circle again to cut out one of those 3x3 cards. And I'm just kind of getting the placement of the largest ones, and I'm going to add those down with snail. And then you're going to see me add some dimensional adhesive to the big circle. And then I'm going to add some dimensional adhesive also to the little circles so I can get those adhered to the card. Now that big sheet of dimensionals are still the ones that came in the March kit. I'm still using them. Those were a ton. So all I'm doing is making sure that each larger circle ends up with a smaller circle and then the tiniest of circles. So I really like this card and how it turned out. I just think it's really fun. And then I'm going to take both anchors and I'm going to adhere the tops together using a glue dot. Now, there is a white piece that punches out, but I made sure that I kept that white piece in so I could adhere these. So I've adhered them together, and now I'm adding glue dots so I could adhere them to my circle. And then I am going to bring in my dark Calypso Coral blend, and I'm going to color the back of the heart. You can see there the gold. I added a little bow using twine and that heart, and now I'm adding the dark blue from the glitter enamel glitter enamel dots, which are also retiring. A little bit of Wink of Stella, and that's card number 3. Card number 4 is the one that's completely different. So I'm going to use the letters again to punch out or die cut the word happy from this striped card and also from copper. So I'm going to do those twice. And then I also used the brick wall texture impressions embossing folder, which is retiring, to do the brick wall because I wanted there to be some background texture, but I didn't want to take away, and I didn't want to add another pattern because that stripe is very, very, very in your face pattern. So you guys have seen me do this before. This is one of my favorite tricks where you add just a little bit of drop shadow with a different color. And then of course these letters are a bit big, so I had to scoot them over, but I got them adhered as best as I could. Then I'm going to bring in the balloon punch, and I'm going to punch out 3 small copper balloons, and I'm going to get those adhered using snail. We are making a gift card holder, so I'm going to adhere these to the front, and then I'm going to bring in one of the Island Indigo envelopes that came in the kit after I get this adhered with some Fast Fuse. Now, the Stampin' Up's retired Fast Fuse, but it's Tombow Extreme, so you can get this at your big box store. So here I'm bringing in one of the envelopes, and I'm literally cutting off the flap, and I'm going to adhere that with snail, and this will fit a gift card. So just like that, that's card number 4. You guys know I love copper and Island Indigo. I'll be sad to see it go, but it's okay. So the last card is probably one of my more favorite ones. I realized that the stamp lighthouse was the exact same size as the die cut lighthouse. So I'm actually going to stamp the lighthouse in a different color by turning over the lighthouse. And here, I'm going to adhere it to this foam on my Stamparatus using just a little bit of snail because it is too small for the magnet to hold on to it. So I'm adhering the Lifesaver with a little bit of snail to one of the circles from the kit. And then I'm going to add the lighthouse. Why do I keep calling it a Lifesaver? I don't know. With dimensionals, and then I am taking one of the box covers. I cut that down to 4 by whatever length it was, and I'm adding a piece of the Pool Party shimmer ribbon. Then this is a piece of Pool Party that measures 4 by 5 1/4. I'm going to adhere the circle with dimensionals, and then I'm going to add a bow and get this all adhered to a Calypso Coral card base and call it good. I adhere the bow with a glue dot. That's my most favorite way to adhere bows and ribbon. And then the final touch for this card is I'm going to adhere one of those little gold hearts to the middle of the lighthouse. Now, you saw a couple of cards in this series where I didn't add sentiments, and that's because a lot of times these any occasion cards can be any occasion. So thanks so much for joining me, guys. I will see you tomorrow.